What's going on there, Army? Joe here. Last week we dyed up two Under Armour Command 2s with powder. One was fire themed, the other one was frost. They featured ombre dyes. If you didn't see that, definitely check it out. Link in the description below. But this week we are going to be unveiling the two newest limited edition Fiber 2 systems. And of course, those are going to be fire and frost. Both these limited edition meshes feature side gradients with the white center amp channel, and my favorite part, besides there being two of them that play off of each other, is that we actually combined different colors together for the vertical weaving of the mesh, which makes colors in between our stock ones. A few weeks ago, we showed you how to get the perfect combination between head and pocket featuring the Command 2, and now we figured we'd finish that off by showing you how to get perfect shooter tension.
A little bit more. Good, we're good. All right, ready.
For this week's pro tip, we're going to be using a Fiber 2 stringing kit, which includes a shooter cord and two shooter laces. First thing we need to do is establish what rows on the mesh the shooters are going to go in, and we're going to be using the 4-inch rule. And this rule means that there can be no shooters below 4 inches of the top of the scoop, which normally if you're using 9-diamond top string is the next 3 10-diamond rows. But for an Under Armour Command 2, because the top isn't spaded that much, you can actually drop it another row, giving you more hold and more control on the ball. So we're going to be actually using the next 9-diamond rows. So it'll be the second, third, and fourth 9-diamond rows. Of course, we're going to start with the shooter cord, so grab that from the kit. You want to even the ends on the side and lace it across, weaving as you normally would, but at the end, we are not going to tie it. Next up, we're going to be installing the shooter laces, and we like to give these a good stretch before installing them, and this will just cut down that break-in period. We're going to lace these into the next 9-diamond row by evening up the edge, doing the same weaving pattern as we did on the cord above, and again, not tying them off. And of course, repeat that same process for the final lace, and then we're going to balance them to get the perfect release. And the general rule here is you want the top one to be the tightest, the one in the middle to be a little bit looser, and the bottom one to be the loosest. And we are going to start on the bottom and then work our way up. So first, we want to push the mesh towards the back of the scoop of the head, as it would look as if the ball was releasing. And this will allow us to really change the different ramping of the pocket to give us that nice consistent release. So we want to push the mesh as far as we can out, so stretch it as far as it possibly can, and that bottom shooter wants just to be slightly tighter than as far as the mesh can go. And what this is going to do is really give you good hold, a nice bite on that bottom shooter, but not really make the ball hook when you're shooting overhand or sidearm or whatever crazy stuff you want to do. And it really just bounces the ball up out of the pocket. Once you're happy with that tension, you want to lock it down with a knot. Moving up to the next shooter lace, we want this one to be slightly tighter than the one below it, and that'll just promote the ball from exiting the stick and not hooking. So again, it needs to be a little bit tighter, and then once you're happy with it, lock it down with the knot. And finally, we have the shooter cord, and this needs to be the tightest of the three. And the reason we want this to be really tight is to make sure the ball doesn't hit off the top with a scoop or hook in any way. It really kind of changes or drops the release point of the stick by making this nice and tight, and that's why we include it in the Fiber 2 system. So you want to pull this one pretty damn tight and then lock it down with the knot. And when you go and throw with it, if you can really feel it and you don't like the feeling, you can loosen up a little bit, but I tend to like a pretty tight top nylon. Now that we have perfect shooter tension, we're going to trim up the 2 shooter laces and the stick should be good to go. Here are the 2 heads finished. Here we have the Fire and here we have the Frost. My favorite part is definitely the combination of the 2 fades, so the fade from the dye and then the fade from the mesh. Just puts them over the edge. And the final kind of thing that Chris threw in there, which is going to be part of the kits, is the orange nylon and the blue nylon. Kind of combine those 2 fades together, which give them a really unique look. If I had to choose, I don't think I could. The Fire and Frost release will include both of these Fiber 2 systems, and it also includes the 2 unreleased colors of the Vision 01 optic that we released at LaxCon this year, and of course those are Fire and Frost. We'll have more info coming out on that shortly. Released this Saturday, March 16th at 9 a.m. at Lacrosse Unlimited locations and lacrosseunlimited.com. That'll be your first stab at trying to get some of this limited edition product, and then we're going to be releasing an additional amount on thrownlacrosse.com that same day at noon. So your best bet is definitely, if you're near Lacrosse Unlimited, head there and try and pick it up in person Saturday morning. And then if you strike out, you'll have a second chance on thrownlacrosse.com at noon Eastern. As always, I'll have all the info and links in the description below on how to pick up Fire and Frost. And of course, let me know what you think about these finished customs in the comments below. That's everything. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the field.